Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, Wizard in the Wild. I'm Graham, Ellie's going to be joining us shortly. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. We've been challenged by Pearl the CV20 to do an 8-question challenge. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So, thanks again to Rick and Heather for these questions. We'll crack on and see what we can come up with.
Answer these 8 questions. Okay, so I think we'll start with you. What's your favourite playlist?
Oh, my favourite playlist? I have a Spotify playlist which I've called Greats because I think it's got some great tracks on it, and they're pretty old, most of them. So they'll appeal to a gentleman of a certain age probably, but they include tracks from Otis Redding, Drifters, Sam Cooke, Righteous Brothers. So they really are some old greats, I think, on there.
So people recognise them.
Yeah, but I also love Coldplay, Rod Stewart, and the ginger fella, what's his name?
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran, that's the guy, yeah. Yeah, we went to see him, didn't we?
We did, yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it?
It was amazing,
It
yeah.
really was amazing.
What about you?
Well, I have to be really embarrassed here and admit that my first love was David Cassidy, and if you remember him, you really are showing your age. I was one of the screaming teenagers who went to see him live, so I guess on my playlist I would have to take Cherish, which was his first solo album. But apart from that, nowadays I like to listen to Magic FM, and I like Adele, and like Ed Sheeran.
Oh, I like Adele as well.
Yeah, and Coldplay. Yeah, that kind of thing. But mostly sort of easy listening type stuff. But yeah, that's me.
But most of the time, when I'm working or doing anything, I'll be listening to TalkSport.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose that could go on your playlist, couldn't it, really? TalkSport.
What, keep repeating the same one? Yeah, that would be good, yeah. I think that's called a podcast. Right, the next question is, what's the best thing that you take on holiday?
You mean apart from you?
Oh yes, that's a given.
Yeah, it would have to be the dogs, because if the weather's wild, wet, windy, horrible, whatever it is, and you feel like just sitting in the van, you can't. You have to go and explore. So they stop us from being too lazy, don't they, really?
They also make us get out in the rain.
They do, yeah, but it would have to be the dogs. We always have to take them with us. And of course chocolate. I mean, goes without saying. Chocolate has to be chocolate every time.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, for me, that's why I've just brought my iPad up here. One of the things that I prefer to always have with me is the Ordnance Survey maps. I've got it on an app, so I can have it on my phone or on my iPad. But basically, maps are a bit of an obsession with me. I love looking at them. And with the OS maps, you can download them in advance, and then you've just got them there whether you've got internet or not. So for me, on my phone or on the iPad, I love the OS maps.
It does mean we don't get lost very often as well, because I've got no sense of direction.
I've got a good sense of direction, so you're lucky there.
Yeah, I'm very lucky, but it makes me quite lazy, really. I just say, Gray, where are we?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
A little phone comes out. Right, question 3. What is your favourite food to cook in the awning or the van?
Well, this is a bit of a cheat, really, because I don't really cook. We've got a good arrangement. Ellie cooks, I eat, she washes up. So that's the best way it works, really. But if ever I am cooking anything, it'll be something like a barbecue or a cooked breakfast, that sort of thing, really. But we're both vegan now, So the picture I'm about to show you is a vegan cooked breakfast, and I can tell you it's delicious.
It is nice. The vegan things have come on quite a lot in recent years, haven't they? Yeah. I mean, for me, it would have to be a Beyond Burger. They are just disgusting, aren't they? They're just so good.
Disgusting, yeah.
What would the girls say? They don't call it disgusting.
Sick.
No, they don't call it sick. What's the word they use? They call it
Very
dirty.
Nice.
That's it. A dirty burger. It's just got everything in it. It's just amazing.
And that's a good thing, isn't it?
I believe it's a good thing. I think.
I can't keep up with it.
Dirty Burger, which Beyond Burgers like, and also the Richmond sausages, the vegan Richmond sausages are really good. So for me, that's what would be my go-to.
And John from John and Mandy recommended the Richmond sausages, didn't he?
Praise indeed.
And he's a bit of a carnivore.
He is. He's always waving his meat around.
But no, seriously, he likes his meat, and he liked the Richmond sausages. So if you're thinking of giving them a go, they really are nice. Yeah,
definitely. I'm going red.
So you should. The next question is, how do you spend your evenings?
Well, I like to do a few little arts and crafty type things. I love knitting. I'm not that good at it, but I love to do that, especially if the weather's not very nice. It's quite cosy to do crafts. And the other thing I like to do is to sit and eat chocolate.
I can help you with that one.
Oh, I'm sure you can. Yeah, so I sit and eat chocolate, and I like reading my Kindle. How about you?
Well, if it's a nice dark sky, I like looking up at the stars. I've got a telescope that I can take with me. It's quite portable, so I love doing that. Bit of a hobby of mine. Kindle, yeah, I love reading. And DVDs, obviously. We don't do that so much, do we? Really?
No, not a lot, really.
But the next trip away, I've got this special Lego of the lunar module that I'm hoping to build. But I reckon to build that, because there's a lot of pieces in it, I think we're going to need to be away for about a week on that one.
Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect. Sounds good. Question 5. What was your worst caravanning experience?
Well, worst is a sort of strong word, really, but there's been a few things that have been a bit awkward. So I suppose you could say it's the worst. But we were trying to get our other motorhome, which was quite a large Sprinter, custom made one. We were trying to get it to the top of Sugarloaf Mountain, and we were driving along this little lane, and it was quite frightening, really, because the bushes on either side were hitting the mirrors, and we proceeded like that for about a mile. And I thought, blimey, I don't like this. I could feel the blood pressure going up. It wasn't very nice. And we came to this junction, crossroads in fact, and we needed to go straight across. But there was a sign there saying, warning, road narrows. I thought, Christ, if it's this narrow already, how narrow is it going to get? So luckily we were able to turn in that crossroads and take a different route, weren't we?
Yeah, we sort of went back.
But we never did make it up to Sugarloaf Mountain, did we?
No, we didn't. And
we were going to go back in the car, but never did.
No, we did laugh about it afterwards. It wasn't funny at the time. It was really stressful, wasn't it? But when you're literally, you can just fit through, and then it says road narrows, you think cycle track.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons that we wanted to get a slightly smaller van, actually.
Yeah, for sure. For me, it would have to be the time when we had the caravan and we were coming back from, I don't know if it was Wales or somewhere, but we were going down the M4, weren't we? And the weather was really bad. It was really windy, and there was this very, very slow lorry in the inside lane, and it was going really slowly. So Graham very cautiously and carefully decided to overtake. And he speeded up, didn't he? Just as you were overtaking, he speeded up, and we just got caught in this crosswind, didn't we? Had to go faster, and the back of the caravan was sort of fishtailing, wasn't it, across two lanes. It was so scary. I was asleep at the time, as were our two girls who were little, and we all woke up with a start to this really weird sensation of this almost feeling like we were sideways on the motorway. And I do believe in guardian angels, actually, because another lorry driver who was sort of behind us at the time could actually see what was going on, and he literally straddled two lanes.
Everyone could see what was going on.
Yeah, but he actually straddled the 2 lanes of the M4, put his hazards on, and just slowed the traffic down behind us so that Graham could slow down and get control, because we were going over 2 lanes.
Took ages to get control back.
And it honestly, it
was
was
a bit of a red knuckle ride, that one, or a
white knuckle
ride even.
Yeah, it was really scary. So for me, that would be the most frightening thing.
Yeah.
Probably part of our reason why we went for a motorhome. Whoa, no more caravans.
We'll end up in a little mini.
Yeah.
Right, so the next question is, what is the most useless thing you always take with you?
Well, for me, it has to be my teapot, my cute little teapot. It's a sort of thing, I don't actually use it very often. Usually it's a tea bag dunked in a mug, but to me, I've always taken a teapot with me wherever, whether it's been the Caravan or Merv or Merlin, just because it feels like home. There's just something nice about it. It's not home without a teapot, and that's why I take a teapot, but it's not that useful really.
No, it doesn't make very good coffee.
No. So that's me.
There is another thing that I always find. Ellie's got this thing about cushions. We take loads of them, and I always find that they don't serve a purpose.
They do.
You just move them out of the way. They're in the way here, so you move them over there. Then they're in the way over there, so you move them back. And they just move around the van and serve absolutely no purpose.
Yeah, my guilty pleasure, cushions. And chocolate.
Yeah.
So, question 7, our funniest caravanning and motorhoming moment. I'll let you start with this.
Yeah, well, although we laugh about it now and it's funny now, it wasn't actually funny at the time. So I don't really know if it counts. It wasn't a big belly laugh, you know. But what it was, Ellie, in the old motorhome, we had a big garage underneath the fixed bed. It was massive, and we could get our bikes in there. And Ellie's got an electric trike that we take the girls around with us, the dogs in the back of it. And I had to modify the motorhome to take this. So I had to take some stays off of the drop down door, and at one point I was trying to get in there to get something out. I can't remember what I was getting out now, but the door shut behind me. And the way we had it packed, I was trapped.
There wasn't much room, was there?
Now I knew Ellie had gone off to the shower block.
Yeah.
And there were other people around because it was on quite a crowded site. But I was just too embarrassed to sort of knock and shout.
You just had to stay there, didn't you, till I came back?
Yeah. And you were ages. You must have found someone to talk to.
I usually do, yeah.
So yeah, that was a funny moment. Now looking back on it, wasn't funny at the time.
No, and I mean you'll see. I think you're going to put up a picture, a little film of Hodor. That's the trike that fits in the used to fit in the boot, and it's massive. I mean, there wasn't really room for both of you, was there? No. Let's face it, you and Hodor. It just wasn't.
Oh, that's right. I was trapped behind Hodor, wasn't I?
Yeah. I mean, it was such a mission to get him in there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But always, invariably, the thing that you wanted was always behind him, so you had to sort of squeeze past to get him. But
what about you?
For me, that was it.
Oh yeah. So you haven't got one?
No, I haven't. You were the funny event for me, I'm afraid. I found it a real belly laugh. I know you just said it wasn't funny. Well, I found it really funny. Oh dear. Yes, you trapped in the boot.
Right, the final question is a fascinating fact about you.
Okay, well, I suppose it's quite fascinating. I'm what's known as a chimera. And what that means is that is that the funny fact is that I've got two people's DNA. Because I had a stem cell transplant by donor, it means that they gave me their immune system effectively. And I always remember, it was a bit of a joke actually, when we went to hospital before. There's obviously a lot of stuff going on at the time, but I do remember that my nurse turned around to me and she just said, "Ellie, if you're going to commit a burglary or a bank robbery, now's your chance, because once you've had this, they'll never be able to catch you, because it means that my DNA has changed. In fact, if I had if that person had a different blood group to me, I would then change to their blood group as well, but luckily theirs was the same. But yes, and that's what being a chimera is all about. How about you?
By the way, her donor was a German chap, but I haven't noticed much German speaking coming out of yeah, for me, I love to do astrophotography, and he says logging onto his machine.
His faithful iPad.
The sort of things that I like to photograph. I don't know if you can see that very well. That's in fact that's called the Wizard Nebula, because of the Wizard in the Wild link. I'm actually getting that printed. We're making a small canvas to go up here in the van. But that's the sort of thing I do in my spare time. I've got a little home observatory at home, and with a telescope system with cameras fitted to it, photographing that.
And didn't you get something in a magazine?
Oh, I've had a few of those. That was really funny, because we were walking round Tesco's, I think it was, and I got to the magazine rack.
That wasn't it?
Oh no, it was Asda, wasn't it? And I just happened to pick a About Space magazine up, opened it up, and there's one of my pictures in there.
Big article about you.
Yeah, and they never even asked.
No.
I just used some historic stuff I'd sent them.
Yeah, it's a nice surprise though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We did buy that magazine, didn't we?
We did, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's the 8 questions, and part of this 8-question challenge, we then have to pass the baton on to 3 other YouTubers to run with the questions.
If they want to have a go at answering these 8 questions. And the first one we'd like to nominate is Life is Too Short with Ken and Carol. And primarily it's because of their reasons for deciding to go into van life. And it's about, for them, it was very much about seizing the day and getting out there and doing things before it's too late. And none of us know what's around the corner, and I think it takes courage sometimes to do things like that, and we really admire that. And also, so try the things you want to try, and they're just so organised.
Yeah.
I love the fact they're so organised.
Ken's a very good photographer as well, isn't he? He takes some really nice
his drone
nice
shots are really good, aren't they? He uses his drone almost like a tripod, doesn't he, as well? He's so clever. So that's why we've nominated them as our first one. Who would you like to
the second one we're going to nominate is one called Flora and the Novice Explorers. Now these guys haven't been posting a lot lately. They travelled extensively last year, certainly during the COVID. I think they were stuck. Was it Cyprus or Sicily? Can't remember which island it was, but they were stuck there during the whole of lockdown, weren't they? But they built their van. It's a self-build T5, I think it is, and we just really love their stuff. It's really well photographed. She does lots of cooking.
She's a chef, isn't she, by trade? And she just does these amazing, beautifully photographed food.
And they're worth a follow, because they've got a dog now as well.
Yeah. Is it called Rufus?
Rufus, yeah.
Rufus the dog? Is he a pug or a French bulldog?
No,
I can't remember.
the pug was the one that they had, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. But there's a dog involved there as well, which is always a good thing. Yeah. And the third group of people we'd like to nominate are Camper Vibe with, and I mustn't forget anyone here, with Emily and Louise and AJ and Summer and of course Fanny the van. And they have actually been a real inspiration to us, haven't they? When Louise built the van from scratch, she's such a good teacher. I mean, she's quite humble about it, but she's a real craftsperson.
She's really good.
She's just amazing in the way that she builds the van. I mean, we were totally absorbed by it all.
What I like about her, she doesn't just tell you how she's done something. She'll tell you the alternatives and why she didn't take those alternatives, because of the downside. So it gives you a balanced view on what you're doing. So a lot of the things that I've done have been semi-influenced by
her, really.
by her, yeah.
And she's a fantastic photographer as
Oh,
well.
yeah, the wildlife pictures.
And it's all done in a really lovely, light-hearted way. And of course, Emily, I mean, her snack cupboard is just the stuff of dreams. She's a girl after my own heart. She always has chocolate, and
there's nothing of her, is there?
No, I know. I think she exercises as well. But and they had a very difficult time getting back from Europe. Won't say too much in case you decide to follow them.
Oh, that's well worth a watch,
but it's
guys.
so worth a watch. I mean, we found ourselves sort of couldn't wait for the next vlog.
With the problems they had and their dedication to still vlogging it, well, it was absolutely amazing.
Incredible couple, they really are. So yeah, they're our number 3, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we'll be posting links to them, won't we?
Yeah,
on our
there'll
page.
be links down below for
of course,
those 3. They're well worth a follow, all of them.
Yeah, and of course to Rick and Heather as well for nominating us.
Yes.
Thank you again. Yeah, so if you're still watching after all this time, well done. You've done well there, and hope to see you other guys doing your 8 questions.
Right, so thank you then, guys. I hope you found this a little bit interesting. You've probably gathered we're still on the drive. We're not able to take Merlin out on the road yet because the DVLA have not completed everything that they need to do. So hopefully that will be done soon. Yeah, and I hope you've learned a little bit about us, and look forward to seeing the people we've nominated do their own answers.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.